Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Miss Eileen. Thank you so much for joining today. And I got a new iPhone. Yes, 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 yes. Uh, you got to understand something. All right, I'm going to show you my old iPhone. Okay. This little lovely darling right here is the iPhone 11. You heard me right. I said iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm going to take her out of her casing so you can really see her. And I got to tell you, even though I've got a new iPhone, I love this thing. I still use it. And what I decided to not trade it in because guess what? When I want to record myself holding my phone, or doing something on my phone, I can use this phone. And for some reason, I turned on the flashlight, so I better turn that off. Gotta press it, I guess. Finally, okay, yes. So this was the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is my baby. I love it, and I always have an outer box. Outer box is my thing. In fact, one of the very first videos I did on YouTube that went viral was about the outer box. But that was a long time ago. In fact, that was so long ago, I had a Samsung phone back. Shh, don't tell nobody. But that was back in the day. And since I started with iPhones, I believe my very first one was the iPhone 6. Let me give you a little history. iPhone 6 was cool too. And hello, hello, Gretchen is here. Hi. I thought it was behind with my 13, but like you, I love it. Oh, thank you, Gretchen. Let me see. You know what? I don't have a comment open. And I just realized it when I looked over. I'm glad I looked over. There you are. There's Gretchen's comment. So I'm glad I did that because I realize now I need to make them bigger. And I'm not even sure I really like that purple color, but that's the color that it is right now. And we're not going to mess with that. And I see my friend Bez is here as well. Thank you so much. You have the 13 Pro Max. Love it. You know, and sometimes we say to ourselves, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to upgrade? Well, the thing with the 11 is that it does do the facial recognition and all that good stuff, but there's no island. Like I still got the notch up at the top. Okay, so I'm starting to feel kind of like, uh, like a old head. There's nothing wrong with being an old head. Don't get me wrong. I love being an old head, actually. So it means I've been around longer. But sometimes you just got to give it up. And so let's go back to the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 was really cool. And one day, all of a sudden, I it was overheating and all this crazy stuff was happening. And I can't remember details about what was happening. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to upgrade the phone. And so I skipped 7 and I went to iPhone 8. And it wasn't until later, maybe 2 years later, there was, let's say, some litigation against Apple about that phone. And they had to wind up giving, I guess they decided to settle. I don't know if they actually got found guilty. It doesn't matter. But one day, years later, all of a sudden, I had like $80 in my bank account. I was like, where did this come from? And then I saw people posting about it, and it was the settlement that they had to get. So, anywho, this was a long time ago. This was the iPhone 6, and I upgraded to the 18 out of the case. Oh, and by the way, since we're here on YouTube and we're on YouTube only, I want you to know, if you're watching this later, that I will have links in the description if you want to shop for any of these things, because I'm going to be talking about some other things that are related to this today. And if you happen to be watching on your television, like I know I often do, there will be a QR code. And you just have to tap on your remote for your TV, and the QR code should pop up. So, anyway, here's that 11. Oh, by the way, shout out to Marquez MKBHD. He had this app called Panels, which was for screensavers and so forth, even though he is shutting down the app. I downloaded it, and it was a free one. And so I have the same one on that phone that I have on here. I'll probably change this in a little bit, but right now I'm still used to it. So, okay, so here Baz says, I'm having storage issues with my 13 Pro Max. Have 128 megabytes, even with 2 terabyte online storage. Yeah, I I think that issue came up when I went to buy the 17. The online storage is very helpful for me, and I think that the salesman and I agreed that if I do wind up needing more storage, it won't be a big deal to take this 17 and get one that has more storage on it. I took his word for it. And he was pretty good. He was a very good salesperson. And so, at this point, having the iCloud storage, I hear so many people complaining about the cost of the storage between Google Drive or whatever the Google product is. Maybe it's Google Suite, depending on, what kind of Google account you have, and the iCloud storage. And I guess some people still use Dropbox and all that. It just all depends upon your workflow. I'm like, that's the least of my worries. Because let me tell you, sort of a side note, before I got this, which is an iMac M1, is what I am doing this live stream from. Before I got this, I had the Intel Mac. I mentioned that already. And even with some of my online backups, one day the hard drive died. And I kind of probably should have looked at the warning signs. Like I kept getting a little beach ball. I should have took that as a warning sign, but I wasn't, and I didn't have it properly backed up. And, consequently, I lost a lot of data. But guess what? I moved on. I went and got it rebuilt. At the time, I still stuck with that Intel because the M1s weren't even out when this happened. And at the time, I was just like, okay, so I lost a bunch of graphics files because I was doing a lot of blogging back then from my blog posts. And it was that kind of stuff. And there was probably backups from my blog. And yeah, it hurt. It stings. Oh, it stings because we're so possessive and we like to hoard and we want to keep all of our data. We want to be in control. But at the same time, it's kind of like, next. So I guess it just all depends upon, what it is that you're actually saving. So, anywho. So yeah, this is the yeah. Even though there's looks like the three cameras, but there's actually a fourth camera, and then there's this square cutout. And when you look at the outer box, because this is the outer box that I picked up when I bought the phone. And by the way, the people were very surprised. You're not trading your phone in? Like they couldn't believe it. No, I'm not. Give me my iPhone back. Because they had to, transfer some of the data over. Okay. No, I don't have to. Because what had happened was last year, I had asked for an iPhone for my birthday. Actually, that would have been this year. And we were like, yeah, that's kind of expensive. And I said, well, yeah, because who knows when they're coming out with a new one. And they did, because there would have been the 16 back then. And I got a down payment. I got down payment money for the new phone. Put it that way. Make a long story short. So that's what happened. So then when I got the rest of the money up, because I saved my little coins, because I'll be doing my little Amazon things and my affiliate marketing and all that good stuff that you can write off on your taxes. Well, I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not giving accounting advice. I'm just saying. I heard. And so now I'm having problems putting this outer box back on. Not to worry, I'm probably doing it upside down, and that's why it don't fit so easy. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was doing it upside down. And if you've never seen how the outer box works, it's like the plastic shell. There's a front piece and a back piece, and then the hard rubber goes on top of that. And this is a piece that helps you from panicking when you drop the phone. So, and I know there's a bunch of other cases out there, and whatever. I know most people like to have these little fancy, bedazzled. I'm not gonna say most people. A lot of people. But I'm a plain person. Give me the thing that works. Give me the thing that like these outer boxes. You could tell for the most part, not all of them. For the most part, they are for tech nerds, not fashion divas. Okay. I know one year I did buy my daughter one because I was, I'm a diehard outer box person, so I bought one for her that had all kinds of sparkly thing. That thing didn't even protect her phone, and I said, I should have got her the regular old, the one that looks like, like you're in the army. So anyway, here's one of the biggest issues that I had. I'll tell you the big issue, and then we can go on to some of the smaller issues. I drive an Acura, and I had my phone connected to my Acura so that all I needed to do when I got in the phone, and most of the time, if I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast. Every now and then, I start listening to music. In fact, I intentionally started listening to the radio about 6 months ago because I said, you know what? You don't even know what songs are out. You don't, like I realized that I'm in my little bubble of podcasts, and there's all these artists out. Some of them are phenomenal, and I don't even know who they are. I must have heard some song one day, or probably my daughter was talking about an artist, and I was like, "Who is that?" And so I realized that, maybe sometimes, even though I don't like the commercials, sometimes I could listen to the radio. And then there's also a the local, um, I guess you call it PBS or NPR type station here in Philadelphia that plays classical, and then certain days of the week they will play jazz. And you can be an artist too with Suno. Oh, I guess that's some AI stuff. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. And so I'll listen to that because sometimes when you're in traffic or if you're driving somewhere, you just might want to decompress a little bit. And sometimes podcasts can be a little stressful, be honest with you, because they're usually trying to get you to do something or learn something. The podcast I listen to, because I listen to nonfiction. You know, and so I I sometimes I just need to decompress, right? I just want to woosah. Bess, thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. Your friend Zakia. Oh, you know Zakia is my girl. Lives in Philly area. Have you ever met up with her? Yes, we have met in person and everything. I met Zakia originally. I think it might have been on Blab or it could have been Periscope. But we go way back. No, 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 no. I got that wrong because she reminded me, and I was like, "Ooh, I almost forgot about that." We actually met in person at a WordPress, what they call it, WordPress meetup thing that was here in Philly, and we were already connected, like on Twitter or whatever, and so, because we were both heavily into blogging back then, that was before we were doing a lot of live streaming, or we were just getting into a lot of live streaming. And so I literally met her in person first. And then last year, she had an online summit that she asked me to be a speaker. And also last year, our friend Fraser Ramsey. Shout out to Fraser from Edinburgh, Scotland. He came to town and we all met up and we all went and had some hot pot food together. So, yeah, Zakia is my homie. Yeah, and I'm glad she's doing better. I saw some updates about her health over on Facebook. So, Zakia Ringgold, we love you. Oh, okay. So, I'm in my Acura. As soon as I get in, I put on my podcast. I might have to switch it to Bluetooth. I might have to switch my Acura to Bluetooth because it could be on FM, FM radio, or but with my new phone, y'all, I was searching online for about a week because I hooked it up before. Because I could go into my Acura and I could see the list of my phones. The first one says iPhone, doesn't have the number, right? Then it says iPhone 8, and then it says iPhone 11. And I'm like, yes, Zakia is amazing, Bez. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so glad you mentioned her. And so I know that I have done this before. I have connected my phone to my car. So I was like, let me grab my iPhone 11 and see if there's an app because I know it hooks up through Bluetooth. I know that. Let me let me tell y'all. I was on YouTube trying to find it. All right, I'm going true confessions here. I was looking for the wrong year car because I bought my car used, and I was looking for 2016. I got a 2015. Okay, so the directions that I was seeing wasn't working. And in the back of my mind, I said, I know y'all gonna say, mm-hmm. She forgets a lot of stuff, don't she? Yes. Don't worry, it's gonna happen to you one day, boo boo. And oh, here's another thing. When I connected my phone, the 11, before, I know, this I know, that I favorited the video that taught me how to do it. All right? Don't ever need to go through your favorites on YouTube. Because guess what? You can't search them. You can't put them in order. You can't even see how many you have. I guess if you only got 25, you could see. But, I've been on YouTube since 2000, I don't know, a long, long, long time. 16 years plus since I've been active on YouTube. And of course, I was watching YouTube before that. So if you just favorite a video, I did not know, and I don't know if this has been a change or if I reached a limit, maybe because I have over 1,000 or something. I don't know, because you can't even see how many videos you favorited, and you can't search through those videos either. So favoriting videos is like, just don't even waste your time. So, so anywho, once I realized what year model car I have, I found this guy who showed me how to do it, and it worked wango bango whammo. And I was like, I give him a super thanks because he did a short. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm just going to put his channel um, right into the comments here. But hang on just 1 minute because, like I said, I gave him a super thanks because I was like, oh, you just made my day. Hang on, let me, and I'm actually going to put the short in the, just in case anybody's watching this and they happen to have an Acura and they need to do the same thing I needed to do. Okay, that was the short. Now let me give you his channel because also if you have an Acura, he's got them all the different models. He's got all kinds of videos. He's definitely someone who has, oh, yeah, Acura underscore Atlas. Acura Atlas. He saved my day. I'm so happy I found him. So that was the biggest. That was the biggest thing that I had, and Bez was laughing at me, so I'm gonna put that up. And also, um, here's that short, and I'll just leave that there in case you need to screenshot it. You never know. And then also the channel here, Acura underscore Atlas. Ignore that it says shorts on the end. He does have long form videos on that channel too. I just grabbed the quickest link I could get to. All right. Okay, so that was my biggest challenge. Whew, thank God that's over because that was a ordeal. Oh, let me tell you. But the other thing, I was prepared because y'all probably think I don't be prepared. I was prepared. I was prepared. I knew I was going to have to do it, just like I knew that I needed the outer box. When I picked up my phone, I had made sure I made my appointment. I only had one person ahead of me, and that was by design because I didn't pick the very first appointment of the day because I was like, what happens when the person shows up late for work? Then I'll be pissed. I'll pick the second appointment, and sure enough, that worked out perfectly. And so, the other thing I was prepared for, and I'll just show you this. I will demonstrate this with my iPhone 11, is this little dongle here. See this? It's lightning. So That's how I charge my phone, with lightning, for years and years and years and years, right? Over a decade. When you think about all the iPhones I had, lightning, and sometimes it would be USB A, depending upon where I was charging it up at. And also, another thing, like I mentioned about being a live streamer, is that, and I've done a video on this on my channel here. Now, this isn't the mic I'm talking into right now, but the Samsung, oh, a little dusty there. Samsung, Samsung, see, sun, S-U-N, sun, Q2U. I can easily plug that into my iPhone. Oh, not that one. And stream from my iPhone with a regular high quality mic. This is what I've been doing for years. Like I said, I got a video showing how I set it up. It's not complicated. You just need to know what you need to know. But I also knew, oh, that's not going to work anymore. So I know I needed new dongles and new um, this one, actually, I had this already because it worked with another phone. I mean, another mic. And that is the USB C. USB C. So I know most folks who are watching this will know, but for somebody who doesn't know and you're watching this, like, what are you talking about? This is the old school. This is the one that Apple had to get rid of because of, once again, people had to take them to court to get rid of this USB, I'm sorry, this lightning adapter that only worked with Apple. Notice there is no, it just goes straight in. There's no opening there, right? And a lot of people are still using this because a lot of people still rocking their iPhone 8, well, not 13. I'm not sure when they had to change it. But lightning. But now, notice how there is an opening there. Ha. And, you know, folks that are on Android have been using these USB-C adapters for years. Okay, for years. And Baz says, I had the Q6. I guess that's an Android phone. 13 has lightning. So, yeah. So, I'm not sure when they changed it. I would assume that the 16 also has this. I'm not sure about the 15. So if you're the person that has the phone, you definitely need to check, because not only would you need to change these adapters, that's the word I was looking for, but not only would you need to buy an adapter for like your microphone if you're that techie, but you're also going to need to buy it for charging. You got to have one of these, okay? So you got a brick, and the brick is USB-C on both sides, the one that goes into your phone as well as the one that goes into the plug. Okay? Very, very important. So, these old earbuds, yes, earbuds. I use earbuds, not AirPods, earbuds. These are the old ones with lightning. And so before I even left, I left in hand with an extra USB C and an extra set of earbuds with USB C. Okay? And as I mentioned earlier, but just in case you weren't here or you didn't hear me say it, I will have links in the description for these dongles and adapters, because I don't want you to be out there without it. And they're very affordable. So, and if you're watching on your TV, you can scan the QR code, uh, tap through and scan the QR code, and you'll see it. So, this, in fact, I got these earbuds, wired headphones, wired is what they're saying. And they also came with a little clip. Even though I haven't used this clip yet, but they came with the little clip. Hey, Chaos Rain, how are you? Hmm. It's been a while. How you doing? Thanks so much for stopping by. So the earbuds came with the clip, and then they also came with these different sizes, or maybe they're just extras. I don't know if they're different sizes. I actually didn't try them on, and I will definitely have a link for this. This I got from Amazon, but you can get them from anywhere. You just got to make sure that you get them. And I'll tell you, I know AirPods are cool, and I think AirPods are great. Don't get me wrong. And wait, on October 20th, 2026 will be my 20-year anniversary for my YouTube channel. I have 12 subscribers. That's a growth of less than one per year. Bez, I don't even know if I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, but I will definitely make sure that I do that uh, later on. Wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see what we can do here. Hold up. Go to channel. Go to videos. And we're going to copy and paste that and put that into the chat. So if anybody wants to subscribe to Bez, and yes, I will be your 13th. And if, you got to put up some content now. I'm looking at for you. It gives me a video from a year ago. So come on now. You have so much knowledge and so much expertise. Don't always share it on other people's live streams, if you know what I mean. You could have your own show by now. All the folks you know that are connected and that are super duper smart, just like you are. So anyway, um, in addition to the air, oh, what I wanted to say about the reason why I like wired earbuds. Here's the thing. Not that I take public transportation that much, but I have. I have taken it. And in fact, I took it at least one time in 2025. But when you're out and about, around strangers, perhaps, maybe you're at a supermarket and you're on the phone and you've got your AirPods in, nobody knows you're on the phone. And they look over and they're like, "What you say to me?" Oh, and then they realize, oh, they ain't talking to me. They're getting a honeydew list while they at the market from their wife for. But guess what? When I got this in my ear, nobody thinks I'm talking to them. Nobody. Not on the plane, not in the market, not on the bus or the train. They don't bother you. In fact, you could see somebody you know and say, "Oh God, I sure hope they don't come over here and say hi to me." And you go like this here, and then you say, "Yeah, honey, uh-huh, mm-hmm." And they won't even come over and talk to you. I'm not saying I ever did that. I'm just letting you know it's a way to be incognito or to be, ignored. Like, hey, I'm busy. Leave me alone. I'm talking. Oh, this is so good to hear that Bez is actually growing another channel around career coaching. Well, what you do is you make yourself a short over in that old channel that I just told everybody to subscribe to and let everybody know that you got a new channel. Make sure you do that. All right, great. So that's another thing. So there's another thing. All right. You probably have multiple places in your home where you're used to charging your phone. So I got a 2-pack. I never opened it. Haven't opened it yet. Oh, there you go. I got a 2-pack of chargers. Make sure your chargers have that brick. And I will definitely leave the link for this pack. I think it's definitely less than $20 for 2. But I think it's like, I want to say it's 15, something like that. So just always make sure that you have enough to replace all of the lightning places, dongles and things and chargers that you have around the house. Because you don't realize how many you need until you change your phone. So I got one next to my bed. I have one next to the table where I eat, right? Because whenever I eat, I got my phone right there, but it should be charging because I'm probably, maybe watching something on TV or YouTube through my TV. So have it handy. And this way you can say, oh, I'm so glad I watched that video. That girl, Eileen, I know she was, like talking about stuff that I already knew. But if you haven't got your phone yet, or even like Gretchen, who was here earlier, and Bez, who is still here, one day you're going to upgrade your phone. Get your chargers now, get your adapters now, and have them. Just don't forget where you put them. Because they come in super handy. So here's another thing that I want to show you guys. This is because I was really curious about like what charges my phone the quickest. So I have this USB extension cable, but it also lets you monitor and test how much power is coming through the chargers, as well as how much data, if you are transferring data. You could be transferring data from your phone to your computer, or from one computer to another, or from one phone to another. This will let you know the flow of data. And it's such a cool little dongle to have. But it's also just an extension. So if you just want to know for sure, let's see if I could do a little quick demo here. Not that end. Oh. I don't think you're not going to be able to see it because I have something here, but hang on. I got so many dongles surrounding me right now. I got to find the right one so I can show y'all what I'm talking about here. Okay, I had the charger that my iPhone 11 is still on, which I just keep on the other side of the room. And no, that's not going to help because that's got USB. See? Darn it. Hang on. Nope. Oh, well. You're just going to have to take my word for it because I don't have the right equipment. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I take that back. I do. Because in front of my Mac, I also have another adapter from Pluggable. It's called a 6-in-1 adapter. Okay, I will be able to show you. Uh, for iMac. And so it puts, and I can't show you it because I'm using it. I'm using it more than one way at that. But I do have a video here. Okay, so now let's see that you can see that. All right, you see that? I don't have it plugged in yet. I'm just gonna plug it into my phone. And if I was charging from my computer, yes, this would be between 2 and 3 watts coming from that particular um, port on my hub. Let's see, I have another port on my hub. Let's see if that's the same. Hang on, let's see what happens. Yeah, that's about the same. It's about the same. 3. All right, and I'll be sure to, if you are using an iMac, there's 6 ports here. There's USB-C, USB-A. I have my wireless keyboard plugged into the one that's the strongest USB-A. And so that's why. And I have my microphone plugged into USB-C. So that's why you're seeing the lower number. But I took this all around the house, this little tester. And all these little dongles that I'm showing you, adapters that I'm showing you, I tested them all. And even the one, I believe it's the one that comes with the iPhone, you, and you may assume this as well. When you see like this braiding, I thought, oh, this is braided. It's a braided cord. That don't mean that it's stronger or that it's more powerful. It don't mean that, okay? Because the one that comes with the phone is it still works. Don't get me wrong. It still has enough power to charge your phone. It just will take longer. So if you use this tester or use a tester like this in different setups, depending upon whether it's coming from your computer or what I was trying to do earlier was actually there is a desk lamp here that I can charge with, but as USB A, and those wall chargers that I was showing you earlier, like this here, test them. Because sometimes what they say on the package is not actually what you get. And my friend Doc Rock did a video about that. Because he has, hang on, I noticed it's crinkly making noises. He has a setup that he uses. Shout out to my friend Doc Rock, by the way. And this is what made me think to tell you guys about this before we get off here today. Because he has this setup that he uses when he's traveling. Because he's always traveling. He's a speaker, at different events. And plus, he likes to travel to Japan. And he's gone for weeks at a time. And so he needs to have a fast way to charge because Doc Rock works for Ecamm Live, and of course he's a live streamer, right? And so he brought this specific charging device, and it wasn't what it said on the package. It said that it was going to be like 200 watts, and I just showed you that the two that I'd used was 2. Okay, and he needs something that's powerful and that is also quick. And so he gave the one that didn't charge properly. It didn't charge according to the specs that it gave on their product listing. He gave it a big thumbs down. And so that just made me think, oh, I have that tester. Let me test and see I just want to warn you guys because he mentioned it that sometimes, especially depending upon where you get, if it's not a known brand and it could be even a known brand, okay? Because these things don't cost a lot in the grand scheme of things. Like the phone costs, almost $1,000, but these little adapters and chargers and all that stuff, they could cost as low as $15 all the way up to 150. Just all depends upon the power that you need. And sometimes, they're not as advertised. And if you don't have a tester, you won't know until you're trying to figure out why is it taking so long to charge my device. And, for me with my iPhones, sometimes at night, I need to make sure that it charges quickly in the morning, to be ready for me when I start working. And because sometimes I might just not um, forget to put it on the charger, or I do some things like leave the phone on by mistake. That's my fault because I have it set up that it doesn't turn off until I turn it off. Like I literally, like this phone's been sitting here all this time since the last time I brought it up on screen. If I don't do this, and because I don't have the outer box on there correctly, oh there you go. If I don't do that, it will be on. And so there has been times when I've left my phone on like this, and I had it like down, face down, and I didn't, because I'm asleep, or I'm trying to sleep anyway. My friend will say, "Why do you have to take your phone into the restroom with you?" And it's like I could have made a sale. I need to know. I gotta check. Oh, okay. The life of a content creator. We have to keep up with technology. We have to make sure that we have um, adequate. You don't always have to have the latest and greatest, but you see how long I waited. I waited and waited and waited and waited until it was to the point where, okay, I kind of got everything else I need right now. Like I probably could do some major renovations in my home, but and the place I bought the phone from, I'm not gonna put them on blast because you'll find out. You'll If you use this carrier, you'll find out when you go buy it. They don't let you pay for the phone right away because I'm ready to pay for the phone right away. Cause see, now that they didn't let me pay for it, I have already dipped into that money to buy gifts for my grandson, stuff like that. I wanted to pay for it outright. They don't let you do that. Shame on them. Cause they want you to have to pay that bill every month. I Believe me, as soon as I think it's 60 days, they said, the salesman told me, I'm paying that phone off because I don't want to have to pay for it every month. That's why I waited all this time to save up the money. But then I'll be spending the money on other things because, there's always something. That's just how it goes. I appreciate you so very much, especially if you have been watching all this time. And here's what I want you to know. As a content creator, you should make yourself aware of the tech that's needed for you to create content in a great way. However, you don't always have to rush out and buy the latest and greatest, and you don't always have to buy new, but you should always keep up with what you need so you have that knowledge. So if I didn't know with the iPhone, or if I wasn't thinking like when I upgraded from the 11 to the 17, but I keep up with, every time they release a new phone, I always at least watch to find out what's going on. Even when they upgrade their operating system, there's new updates to iOS. I keep up with these things. And I think if you're creating content, especially if you're creating video, and if you're creating content these days, you probably need to be creating video, okay? Even if you're a podcaster or an audio content creator, you need to be creating video as well. And so having a great phone is going to save you from investing in an expensive camera. Now, if photography is your thing, like my friend Gretchen was here earlier, she's a photographer. So she's got the latest and greatest. She could tell you about all the different lenses, all the different camera bodies out there because she's been a professional photographer for years. Me, I like to stick to my phone as my camera or my Mac. Like right now on the iMac, I am using the built in webcam. I know there's other webcams out there. In fact, I have a bunch of Logitech. I think I have every Logitech webcam there is. But for me, this is what works. I like this. And this is what you need to do. You need to educate yourself and then also try things out. And here's one of the reasons why I like Amazon. Now you can buy from other places too, but if you have Prime, it's easy to return things. If like even these earbuds that I bought, like if I didn't like them or if they didn't suit my needs, let's say I spent $15 on them, I don't want to have to spend more to return them than I spent to buy them. Now, Walmart has something similar too, Walmart Plus, which, has the free shipping and all that good stuff. But you want to, you know, make sure that you are checking these things out, watching videos, educating yourself, and be ready when the time comes because you never know when all of a sudden there's going to be a settlement check showing up in your bank account. You'll be like, I forgot I even filed that claim. Yeah, because guess what? I know I mentioned earlier about getting one from iPhone, but 1 month this year, I will say it was in the summer, I got a check from Facebook for some shady 80 stuff they did. And I didn't even want to post it on Facebook because I said, I don't see nobody else posting it. So I was going, but I'm telling y'all, I got like, I don't know, $65. Like, well, I could have bought a couple dongles, a couple adapters, right? With that money because I wasn't expecting it. I know that I filed the claim, but who keeps track of like filing the claim and when the money, goes out? And there's some other claim that people are getting paid back for it that had to do with Amazon. So, you just never know when some money is just going to show up in your account. Yay! And when it does, be ready. Have your wish list. That's another good thing about Amazon. They got those wish lists. My friend Michael Daniels, he is amazing. He will go onto my Amazon wish list and get me like on Christmas time or a certain time of the year and make sure that he buys something for me. My daughter put together a wish list for my grandson's Christmas wish list. And so we all got together, and now the my grandson has all the toys that he didn't even know he wanted, because my daughter's the one who made the list. She didn't ask him. He's 5, so he's happy. He get Legos. He's happy, but he's got a bunch of other toys, and he's a good kid, and he's very smart, and so he deserved it. So anyway, with all that said, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, or if you have any experiences you want to share about your new iPhone, please leave me a comment, and you can always leave a super thanks here as well if I sparked any ideas for you. And be sure to check the comments and the description box for links to all the stuff. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing 2026. And as always, stay beautiful.